What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I made a little bit over $22,000 day trading one simple strategy, and in this video I'm going to break down the strategy, show you how it's mechanical and repeatable, and then show you the real trades that I took today. So let's get right into it. This month, $318,000 month, 94% daily win rate with an 84% trade win rate, and as we can see here, $22,000 on the day. This is making up primarily my week so far because the rest of the week has been a little bit slower because we had FOMC on Wednesday, and I told you guys on the Sunday watch list that I'm going to be defensive until Wednesday, and Thursday is when I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive. That's exactly what I did according to my game plan, and let's go over to the setup. So in terms of the setup that I took today, it is called the one candle rule. Now this setup is very simple. Because we had earnings today and it's after FOMC, you don't want to come in and choose a direction of the market because once again, after earnings, the market can be very volatile. So instead, what I traded today is called the one candle rule. And all the one candle rule is if you're in an uptrend, in this example here, we're in an uptrend, when you get a down close candle in an uptrend, that is what's going to support price for a move to the upside. So you're going to mark out that down close candle. That can be from the high to the low of that down close candle. And all you're looking for is a retest in that down close candle because once again, the red candle or the down close candle will support price for a move to the upside. This is going to be like simple support and resistance. And the exact same thing is true if you're moving to the downside. If you're moving to the downside in this example, you get an up close candle. When we come back to retest that up close candle, you're going to mark out that up close candle, and this is going to be used as resistance for a move to the downside. And once again, the down close candle is used as support for a move to the upside. The up close candle in a downtrend is used as resistance for a continuation move to the downside. And remember, it has to be in a trend. So we need to be either upwards trending or downwards trending for this to work specifically, but that's how simple the strategy is. You're simply looking for one candle that will hold price for a move to the upside or to the downside. Now let's see how I actually implemented this in the real markets today. So today, the first trade I actually took was on MU. Now this was a loser of $7,000 using this setup. And remember, there's always going to be losses with trading, and that's why I want to show you guys every single day on my journey to 10 million exactly what I do in terms of the losses that I take and the wins that I take, of course. So coming into today, MU, this one was very, very strong. Buyers are stepping in above this previous day high as well. So we're simply going to mark out the previous day high and we're going to mark out the previous day low right here. Now, once we mark this out, we can simply go to the 1 minute time frame, and on the 1 minute time frame, you can see we were opening up near the previous day high. Now, this is a strategy that I talked about in yesterday's video, but essentially what I was looking for today on MU was just buyers to step up. I was simply just waiting for buyers to step up. If I saw buyers step up on MU, then I would be interested for a move to the upside because once again, the higher time frame is very aggressive. Now, as we can see earlier on the day, we actually ended up rejecting that previous day high. We then got the reclaim back above this previous day high here, and buyers started stepping up very aggressively. On this reclaim, what do we see? Well, we actually see this down close candle. Now, this down close candle also coincides with our previous day high strategy as well. But when we saw this down close candle, what I'm going to do is mark out the top of this down close candle to the wick here, right? So the body of the down close candle or the full wick is what I marked out for continuation. So what I would be looking for on this name, because we now have verified that we are uptrending, buyers are stepping in above previous day high, I want the retest and continuation. That's all I was looking for. So let's see what happens when we actually came back for the retest entry here. You can see so far buyers were stepping in pretty aggressively, and right here, this is where we got the retest. Now, when buyers started stepping up for this retest level, this is where I was interested for a move back to the upside. I believe I traded the 445 calls on MU today, and I was looking for a move back up into high of day and continuation. So high of day, and then the primary target actually for me was actually just this pre-market high, right? So high of day, and then the primary target being the pre-market high. So let's see what happens here on MU. I actually entered in on this next candle. So once this candle was breaking back above this 953 candle, right? This is very important. When this green candle is breaking back above this down close candle, this confirms price. I don't have to wait for this candle closure because I already waited for the 953 candle. So I was simply just waiting for a break back above. That's exactly what we got with the previous day high plus one candle rule strategy. And this is exactly where I entered for continuation back up into high of day. As we can see, we actually ended up getting high of day very quickly on the very next candle. And this was a good trade. I was up a decent amount at this point, but I wasn't able to scale because it just happened a little bit too quickly for myself. And that's just an execution problem potentially on my end as well. However, it just happened a little bit too quickly. Of course, I was live trading in the accelerator. I was letting everyone know that that if you are in this trade, you should take some off here. However, for myself, I also let them know that I wasn't able to take any off just because it happened a little bit too quickly, and that's completely fine. We'll look to see if this one continues in trend, because the whole purpose of this was to see the continuation in trend, not just a quick scalp. And as we can see, this one unfortunately did fail back below that one candle rule, and I ended up stopping out of the trade. And this was a $7,000 loss for myself, because once again, we broke back below the one candle rule, and we also broke below the previous day high. So that was the first trade on MU. Now let's go over to the second trade on Tesla, which actually worked out, and that's why I was up today. This was a $29,000 trade. 425 puts is what I took on Tesla today. Now the reason I was aggressive on Tesla was because we did have earnings on Tesla. Now this is very important to mention that we had earnings on Tesla yesterday, and that's why we actually had a pretty big move today for Tesla. And I said on Sunday that because of earnings, I'm going to be looking at Tesla, Microsoft, and Meta today, and that's exactly why I ended up trading Tesla. Once again, we mark out that previous day high and previous day low. Then we come over to the 1 minute time frame, and you can see Tesla's actually opening up pretty neutral. So yesterday, the price action we had was just consolidative. Then we had earnings. We had a big move to the upside, and then we actually ended up opening up basically break even, right? Or flat. So for Tesla, we could either move to the upside. For me, the upside move would come above previous day high. So if Tesla broke above previous day high, retest continuation, that was the upside move. But if Tesla did not break above previous day high, then I'd be looking for that downside move on Tesla, right? So I was able to play both sides today. And so that's why I didn't come in with aggressive bias today. Instead, I was simply just willing to trade either the first candle strategy or the one candle rule strategy. So let's see exactly what happened on Tesla. As you can see, right into the beginning of the day, we try to break above this previous day high. But what happens? We get very strong rejections right off of your previous day high. No buyer stepped in, and this one moves all the way back down into your previous day low. So once I saw this movement within the first 5 minutes, then I was simply just looking for the retest and continuation to the downside. I was just looking for any sort of low risk pullback entry on Tesla for continuation. Let's see exactly what happens. As we can see, we continue this downtrend. We do end up making a one candle rule strategy right here, and this is where sellers stepped in. This one would have been a nice one to potentially enter in off of as well, but I was waiting for weak price action. I didn't get the weak price action that I wanted on this specific trade, so I actually ended up skipping it. But then we broke back below one more time. When we broke back below this time, this is when QQQ and the overall market was weak, and I marked out the lowest down close candle. In this example, the lowest down close candle will be this one right here at 946. I mark out this down close candle with the high of this down close candle at 954. That's what I mark out for the one candle rule. Once again, up close candles have to support price for a move to the downside. And now I am simply looking for the retest for continuation on Tesla. Now let's see exactly what happens on this retest here on Tesla. We can see we start coming back. Buyers start stepping in. We come back to the top of this down close candle. I'm waiting for a little bit of weaker price action to confirm this move. Once I see that we have rejected, right? So this time, right, we came up. This was the lowest risk entry you could have taken, but I wanted to see a little bit weaker price action, a break back below the one candle rule. This happens at around 10:13. This is where I look to enter the trade on Tesla, and I'm looking for a move back to the downside. My key targets here were around 420s. My stop loss is simply a break back above this level. And let's kind of see what Tesla ends up doing. We see a nice move back to the downside. We see a little bit of consolidation actually before we get that bigger push to the downside. So Tesla comes back, a little bit of consolidation, but never breaks above our stop loss or comes near our profit target. So that's really, really important to mention. If a trade is just consolidating like this, don't look at every single 1 minute candle. That's only going to stress you out. You really just want to enter a trade with a plan in terms of your stop loss and profit target, and just let the plan work. And that's exactly what I was saying on Voice today in the accelerator when I was live trading in front of thousands of traders today. And I was just explaining to them, right, don't let this fake you out. Let the trade play out. And this trade actually ended up playing out really nicely, coming all the way down into 414s today. And I actually ended up taking my first skills at low of day. I had 150 contracts. I took off 120 off at low of day, majority of my contracts. Then I took the other 20 off near 1050s. And then the remainder of the 10, I actually ended up taking off when we broke back above this level right here. So let this trade kind of play out a little bit. Once we broke back above this up close candle, right, buyers started stepping in. I ended up closing the rest of my position for Tesla. So those are the trades I took today. I hope you guys are getting values from these daily breakdowns of every single trade that I take to my journey for 10 million. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on your bell notifications to not miss a single upload. If this video helped you, make sure to leave it a like. If you have any questions, put them in the comments down below. We're ending off the week tomorrow, so we'll see if any trade does present itself. And remember, on Saturday, I will be giving you guys the full watch list for the next week, so make sure to not miss that, and I will see you guys tomorrow.